Hello, everyone. I hope you're really well this Monday evening. I am streaming live tonight to hold a training, and it's all about this is a really big one. And I wanted it to go live tonight because I was talking in depth to those in the Unleash Your Art membership about this topic last week. And it just made me really want to pop on and talk to you and share this short training all about crafting magnetic captions. So this is a game changer for your business in the sense of how you are putting content online and getting engagement from the people who see it. And the reason why I felt I really wanted to make this training the first I've done in a while is because this is the one thing I notice all the time where artists are just missing the mark. They are missing golden opportunity to connect their beautiful imagery or videos of their art with the story, the essence of why they've created it and why it's amazing, which is what will connect people to what you're doing and entice them to buy. Okay. So this is in essence storytelling. If we can't tell the stories of who we are and what we do online, we don't have the luxury of being able to be in front of that person we're trying to connect with behind their phone. Being able to talk to them and share the physical beauty of what we do is one thing and the most powerful tool we have. But we also have great opportunities via social media to create really amazing connection there too and give people a really beautiful opportunity to understand more about us and more about our art. So I wanted to go through why this has been a game changer for me. This completely changed my art business when I realized this. I hated social media when I started, absolutely hated it. I didn't understand it and I didn't really want to be a part of it. And looking back, it was very much attached to that real early feeling of, am I good enough? I don't really want to share too much. I feel like I need to be this polished version of me in this art world. And it's really overwhelming and it just does not feel good. It feels icky. But often the things that are hardest and feel the worst to get through are the most important to focus on. So when I started realizing that the way I was going to sell was not just by sharing specific factual details about my art and, made on canvas with acrylic paints, like that's not why people want to buy what you do. When I started to share my true self, my authentic story, and the stories behind my art, that's when things started to really change. And that's when I started to get real engagement and real traction from people outside of my own known community. So I'm going to share with you some examples of what I'm talking about here. I've created an example of something I see, something, or similar to this all the time. And it just makes me go, oh, just don't post at all. Don't even bother if you're not going to take 5 minutes to just think about this a little bit more. And then I'm going to show you an example of how you can make it engaging. And this is talking about the caption, the description that goes with anything you post. And that's whether you're sharing something from another account or sharing something from your own account or just posting a post on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, wherever it might be. This is relevant to all of it. And then I'm going to show you a little formula of 4 things that I check off in my mind when I'm crafting a post that allows you to craft something that engages, tells a story, and asks your audience to be a part of what you're doing and respond. We can't expect engagement if we're not being engaging. That's how one of my amazing members summarized what we were talking about the other night, and it is spot on. So, like I say, things really changed me when I started sharing my stories behind my art, because as humans, our brain is activated when we are engaged in a story or engaged in something interesting. Okay. And so if it's not interesting, we just don't have there's nothing to entice us to comment or to take action. People take action when they're inspired by something. And so, in the sense of art, if they see your work, they read your posts or they read your captions and they're inspired, they're likely to comment, maybe visit a link you've asked them to visit. They will take action because they have been sparked by something personal and connecting on a human level that's associated with your art. So, like I say, fundamental piece of building an online presence as an artist, as anything, to be honest. But when it comes to your art, you have beautiful imagery and videos that you have that many people in many industries don't. But often it's just doesn't come across and it doesn't shine through because we've just let ourselves down with telling a bit of the story. And it doesn't need to be extensive, but just something that's you and engaging. So I'm going to just show you here what I mean. Right, I'm going to share my screen. Right. So where are we? Okay, so I've got two images, and just imagine the caption there as being in the description box. Okay, I've done this for the sense of understanding what I'm trying to show you here for this training on top of the picture. But normally you have a picture or a video or a reel, and then you have a description. And so this is what I see a lot. Something like this, where there's a beautiful picture and then it says work in progress, 1 meter diameter acrylic on wood panel. It's very factual about, okay, this is what this is. But there's nothing in that makes me feel anything. There's no feeling that is created by reading that sentence. And it's just such a missed opportunity to create, allow the viewer, the reader to go, beautiful image. What's this about? Read it and really be like, oh, wow, that's great. And say something back. And so this is the example of what I wrote. And I'm going to show you, like I say, a little formula of how I do these things now. And it's become just habit. But if you read this, is it coming together? Question mark. The viewer's going to read this and go, oh, what's she talking about here? It's enticing to keep reading. And this isn't forced. This is just me thinking about it, like sharing a feeling I had that day. Yes, it's coming together. Is it taking a while? Yes, it was taking me so long. I was going, oh my gosh, it's taking forever. Will it be worth it? I'm pretty sure. And then I kind of talk about what this is about. It's always such a relief getting to the point where you know your idea is going to work, especially when you're 50 hours in. So I'm telling, even if somebody's never seen this before, they're kind of getting the impression that this is something new for me. I've not done something like this before. And it's been taking me a while, but it's finally coming together. And then I'm saying to them, keep following to see the finished pictures, or better yet, subscribe to my newsletter to get the first dibs on all of my works, which several are coming soon. And there's a link. So I'm taking them on a bit of a journey of just expressing how I'm feeling about this piece. There's still so much more to share about this image, which I will in subsequent posts, what this is about, where it is, what the feeling I get from it. But here I'm expressing the process and the feeling I have in that process. And I get a lot of engagement in that particular moment. Or with that particular post. So this is what I mean about creating a description that then makes the viewer feel like they can respond. That first example, one line, work in progress, factual, there's no reason or feeling for the reader to feel like that they are open or you're open to receiving any engagement from them. So like I said, it's a real missed opportunity. And whenever you're trying to post on social media, that is what you're trying to get. You're trying to get people commenting, taking action, whether it's visiting a website or subscribing to your newsletter. You want them doing something, following your page in relation to what you are sharing. So this is really, really vital stuff. And so what I put together as well tonight, and this is a free resource that I've created for you all, that this will be available as a download through the link that I will put in the comments. But I've created a little summary of how you can craft a magnetic caption like this moving forward. Now, it takes practice and it takes a while to feel what your authentic voice is if you don't do this already. But I thought I wanted to show you something that can kind of take you through a simple process of next time you're writing something going, right, if I structure it a little bit like this, I might get to something that feels like the viewer is engaged or wants to engage with me by the time I post it. So I'm going to share again the sheet that's going to be available to you. Here we go. Here it is. So this is going to be something you can all just take a copy of, download and take a copy of. I'll put the link in shortly. And so, like I've said here, just to summarize what we've been talking about, what the purposes of a caption is. Like, it's good to remind ourselves what that's there for. It's not just a title like on a website. It's trying to give people a reason to respond and to engage with you. And the way I see a way to craft my stories is in these 4 pieces. So I've created this little table here, and you can use this next time you're creating a new piece of content. So you can just put the name of the content piece that you're it might be Facebook post for this Thursday, as simple as that. But break it down into 4 things. The first being a short, interesting sentence, ideally short, 1 or 2 lines max, that entices the reader to keep viewing what you're going to say. So you'll see the one I did before, which I've copied those examples on here down the bottom. I wrote, "Is it coming together? Yes, ? And then I did something a little bit different this time. I asked 3 questions. But they're all short and snappy and they're intriguing, which is what you want. You want people to be like, oh, what's this about? And they keep reading. So that's step 1. A short, interesting sentence that entices the viewer to keep reading. The second step is it can be really short, or could be 5 paragraphs, but a summary of your story constructed in a way that gives the reader context to what you're talking about. So anyone who kind of comes across this, they don't need to read 5 posts before to understand what I'm talking about. They can get the gist that this is something. I've been trying something new here and it's working and I'm really relieved and it's coming together. So that you want it so that whether you've had followers for years or a new follower that day, they can come with you on that journey. And like I said, that journey might be 1 line. Like, really what I was trying to say here, the story of this was, it's always a relief getting to the point where you know your idea is going to work. That's the story of this post. It's as simple as that. So it can be that simple. The next thing is a request for their thoughts or a summary that triggers engagement. So my summary in this one, again, is very simple. Keep following to see this finish because it's coming soon. So you're wanting to kind of get them to think, oh, maybe I'll follow her page, or I'll comment because I feel like she's open to that. There's an openness in the way that you write. And then finally, a call to action is always really, really good and recommended. So call to action might be, like I did here, subscribe to my newsletter. It might be visit this link if it's a new piece available. It might be follow my page to make sure you don't miss out on next updates. But try and have a call to action with most things that you do. And sometimes it won't be an explicit kind of like follow, subscribe, or something that explicit, but it might just be a little piece of advice that you give somebody to think about and take with them. Because if you can do this well and share stories and create really interesting captions well around your art and little stories like this constantly, you will start to get people remembering you, right? Stories help people remember. It's the best form of marketing you can possibly use, no matter what you do. So if you can get this right, and it takes practice, right? Like what I do now is very natural for me. I started social media 7 years ago. I barely touched it for years because I hated it. Like, I was telling the ladies in the membership the other day, I talk to you now, but if you saw me 7 years ago when I was standing up in front of my then, team at work when I was still working, I would have a rash from like here to here, and I would hate it. It was all of this takes practice to just be able to get to the point where you feel like you can be you without feeling that overwhelming sense of, am I going to be judged? And so this is a huge part of breaking through that. So this is going to be, like I say, I'm going to put this link into the description of this training, and you can make a copy of this and just use this as a little reminder and a prompt next time you're creating a piece of content that I hope will help you. But as always, leave some comments in the comment section if you'd like to ask any questions. And yeah, just to summarize, if you can start to craft really magnetic captions for your audience to engage with, it will change the game for you with regards to social media. Be patient with it. Like everything, it takes practice, but this is just so worthwhile. So I really hope you have a good look at this and give it a go. Okay, see you soon.